Okay, this is Mr. K again. Three strikes in one. Basically, I'm just coming out with now a scientific idea. We have a lot of break-ins into our houses these days. We have a lot of riffraff that try to break into our houses, maybe intimidate our families, maybe try to steal stuff from our property, maybe enter a premises, a business premises, or a security zone where they shouldn't be. They're trying to steal items, or espionage, or something like that. Think about this idea. Okay, we have protons in our body. They're magnetic in nature. They have certain magnetic properties within our protons. They spin on an axis. When magnetism is applied, like a magnetic resonance imaging scan, I mean, it causes the protons in our bodies to spin on an axis. And when a surge of magnetism, magnetic resonance imaging is applied upon the body, the protons spin and display an image which is categorized on a machine for our internal body. Basically, let's think of an option where we can apply that to our houses or our premises or our security zones or our economic corridors to stop thieves and stop illegal entry to cause harm to ourselves and our property and our goods and services. Just imagine creating a magnetic field based upon your own genetic code. Genetic code, deoxyribonucleic acid or ribonucleic acid, is based on a helix, which is also driven within, which is also derived from frequency codes. A frequency code can match the four cells that make up a tissue, which also have frequency related distributions, like epithelial, which is linear, rectangular, cuboidal. It could be nervous and nerve cell and connective cell or muscular cell. Those are the four cells that make up a tissue. But basically, if we create a magnetic barrier with around our residential zone, within our own premises, or our own economic zone, or our own business, or our own security zone, our own security establishment, we can create a magnetic barrier around our premises, and it would only allow our own genetic code to enter that premises, because it would be based on magnetic properties that exist within your DNA code, your deoxyribonucleic acid, your own ribonucleic acid, which is helix driven, which is frequency driven, and our own magnetic properties within our own protons. Our own protons make up ourselves, our bodies. We have protons all around our body, which a mass make our own cellular structure. So basically, we create a magnetic barrier around our home or our residential zone or our economic zone or security zone, and people trying to enter the allocated magnetic barrier will find it very painful to actually enter the zone. It will be very painful in their approach to pass the zone. If they pass the magnetic barrier, then we can have a built-in frequency distribution zone within that magnetic barrier with high intense magnetic frequencies and electrically charged frequencies or statically charged frequencies will actually overcome someone trying to enter the magnetic barrier. Those are three types of wavelengths which can be applied, but certain ones do not need to be applied based on the certain situation that is the residential, business, or securities driven zone. Basically, the magnetic barrier, has two stages. First, entry. You might not have the code or the chip within your body. Who knows? We could have chips within our body which allow us to enter the magnetic barrier, or you might not have the genetic code pass, which is entered in through a system within the allocated zone where the magnetic barrier is based. If you don't have a genetic code or genetic pass to enter the allocated magnetic barrier, it will be painful for you to actually enter. And if you do enter, the second stage, frequency, magnetically guided, electrically guided, statically guided frequencies within the magnetic barrier will be very painful for someone who hasn't got an allocated genetic code pass to actually, or proton pass, to actually pass into the magnetic barrier. This can be applied within territorial zones or you know what I mean, population zones, economic corridors, security corridors, residential zones. It's a way of keeping us safe in the future. It's an idea which needs to be developed because I know, yeah, I mean, certain countries have actually established through the Audi guy, which is a magnetized, electrolyzed program proximity grid. I mean, where you know, I mean, no mechanical or frequency guided or electrically guided. I mean, vessel can enter the airspace of a country. But basically, if we reorientate that idea with regards to safety within our own allocated home residential zones or our own business corridors or our economic corridors, our own security driven corridors, we can apply the magnetic field. Do you know what I mean? So it actually, because protons are all around our body, they're the most important part of our human body because they spin on an axis, they're all around our body. Every part of our body has a proton, do you know what I mean, which allows us to function or keeps us together as it does. And they're magnetic in nature. So if we can create a magnetic barrier where our own proton pass or genetic code pass, you know, what I mean, deoxyribonucleic acid or ribonucleic acid is allowed to enter that magnetic barrier, and we can apply different people's magnetic code within the uh, the, uh, the magnetic field by carrying out a melatonin check based on their DNA through light introspection of the melatonin in the cheeks or the skin. That chemical analysis through introspection can be used to enter DNA codes into a premises, which will allow someone to enter the magnetic barrier or the economic corridor or the business corridor or the security corridor. It's an idea of the future. I just want to pass to you guys, and I hope you really enjoy the talk that I've given regarding this. Remember, even all those cells have protons within them as well. Epithelial, connective, muscular, nerve cells all have protons within them, and they can all be used as a way orientated through magnetism or magnetic barriers to allow safety within our own residential zones. It's an idea of the future. I hope you understand. I hope you enjoyed this speech, this talk. Thank you very much. Over and out, Mr. K. V.